Hello, welcome to episode 35 of the Grab ATTN podcast. This is a Gary V Club podcast, and today's episode is about the pains of social media growth. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of habit creation. And I think that that's one of the things that Gary kind of just um, dust over because it's so much of a habit for him. But we're literally creating addictions for ourselves. We're becoming addicted to these social media platforms so that we can continue to post and post and post. And then we're looking for these dopamine hits so that our reward system keeps at it. And if we don't have the dopamine hits, then we have to find the dopamine hits from other places. The key is to get the dopamine hit from creating the content, like what I'm doing right now, just creating this, not from the people watching, but just from the creation of it. I'm getting that dopamine hit. So it's like, yes, one more piece of content. And this show is about being coached. It's about listening to audio. It's about reading. It's about marketing. It's about daily masterminding. It's about all sorts of things like that. But what it's really about is helping people to understand that they need to grab attention. And we don't know what's going to grab the right person's attention. We can work to improve ourselves. We can work to, improve our businesses, all these things. But ultimately, we just have to be ourselves, put it out there, and keep putting it out there, and the right things are going to align. Now, some say you can put too much content out. Gary sort of disagrees with that, and I sort of disagree with it too, because it depends on what you're doing. If you're looking for a job, yes, you can put up too much content and make it very difficult to get yourself a job. Um, but the alternative is like what I'm doing. Now, for some places, it may be hard for me to get a job. For others, it may be easier. I'm not looking for a job, I'm looking for a life. And this is part of my life, creating content, communicating with people. I understand that in order to do the things that I want to do in my life, I have to be able to gain influence. I have to be able to get my ideas out there. And with suicidal ideation, it starts as an idea. It can have to do with your gut microbiome, all that stuff. It can have to do with your diet, things like that that affect your outside circumstances, your lifestyle. Society has a major impact on it. And so we're living through all of this, and we've got to be able to not stress so much, because while things are affected by our cravings and addictions and all these things, we still do have decision, and we have the decision to make changes. We have the ability to change our thoughts and ideas and try different things. That's what it's really about. It's about using our minds to create the lives that we want to create. And, this little guy, his name's Revelation. And he's this little green cheek conure. And I've wanted to get one for a while. And I went into this pet store, and he was so scared and so nervous. And he's very jumpy. I mean, even for a bird, he's pretty jumpy. But we've just been taking care of him and loving him and scratching his head and stuff, and he's beginning to to trust us and love us. And it's been a few months, and this is how things are with birds. But I used to raise birds when I was young, and this is kind of like a Gary Vee story. I used to raise birds and was making a good amount of money, and I from raising the babies and selling them, and I don't think I would do that now just because of how I feel toward animals. Um, I think that there are enough breeders out there, um, that I just wouldn't want to do such a thing. No, but at the time, I loved it. I was passionate about it. I was learning, and I think that there is a lot of good in that. There, with people to raise animals and understand what it's like, um, to watch the whole process and to actually raise these babies as your own and care for them and love them, and then have to see them go. I made good money. I met a lot of great people, and I wouldn't change that experience for anything. And now I finally have this little guy because I've wanted just, a pet to have. I ended up having to get rid of the birds because of the noise, and it was unfortunate and it was very sad. But I rescued this guy from. He was at the pet store for a long time down here, and um, he was just scared, and no one wanted to spend that kind of money on a bird. And I mean, it's not like he was an insane amount, but they just didn't really understand because he was so fluttery and nervous and scared. He's just been a phenomenal little guy. But just know that literally any kind of passion you can make money with. And social media now opens it up to far more than ever before. When I did that, it was when I was like 15 years old, 15, 16 years old. And if you look at 17 years ago, 16, 17 years ago, for I mean, I had a PDA, a personal digital assistant by HP, and that thing was nothing compared to the iPhones of today. It was nothing of like what we see today. You have so much power in your pocket. Use it. Thank you. Have a great day.